What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. And the winner of the poll for this video is Slowthai with Nothing Great About Britain. Before we get into the album, you'll notice that there's no poll in the description section of this video, and that's because there's going to be another Out of My Element video that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be for an album that I picked myself. That'll come out, I don't know, in a few days. But the new poll will be in the description section of that video, so keep an eye out for that. So I'm not really familiar with a lot of UK hip hop. I've heard some here and there, The Streets, Dizzy Rascal, you know, the usual. And we've reviewed people like Skepta, and I think we may have done a Kano album on Dead End Hip Hop, but on average, UK hip hop and grime is not really my cup of tea, governor. That was so whack. I'm sorry. I'm not taking it out though. And it's got nothing to do with the quality of the artists or the quality of the music itself. It's just that I don't really understand much about UK culture, so the music kind of confuses me a bit. You know, Skins is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I've watched every season of Top Boy, so I get some of the references, but a lot of the shit just goes over my head. Now, people are always trying to push non-US rap on me. I'll get messages from people talking about, check out this Spanish hip-hop album, or check out this Japanese hip-hop album, and no, you know, that stuff just doesn't interest me at all. You know, while it might be fantastic music to those who are part of the culture, for me, someone who is into raps and words, I just can't vibe on shit that is in another language. And dudes get mad about that for whatever reason, but you know, it is what it is. Now, that's obviously not the issue with Slowthai, because obviously Slowthai speaks English. It's just a matter of a missing connection for me as an American that I just can't get past. All of that said, the first song of this album, which is the title track, is really, really cool. The beat is fantastic. It's dark and it's super off kilter. Kind of reminds me of some old school Anacon shit, or some older LP, or even some anti-pop consortium type shit. I really dig the beat, and I really like the way he's flowing over it. His really unorthodox flow works really well with that beat. He instantly gives me kind of a Dizzy Rascal feel, which I'm sure is super ignorant to those who are into UK hip hop, but that's, hey man, which one do you do? Dizzy Rascal was my introduction to UK rap, and I did catch this line where he says, "I ain't Dizzy, I'm just a boy in the corner," which was an obvious shout out to Dizzy Rascal. The next song, Doorman, I did not like quite as much. Apparently, it's produced by Muramasa, who I do like a lot. But I just didn't like the beat nearly as much as the first one. It's like this punk rap thing, this driving bass and drums, and I just wasn't feeling his vocal approach to the song much. It sounded rather typical, if I'm being honest, and it actually reminds me of a Block Party type song. But yeah, I didn't dig it. So starting out, we're at 50-50. So I was a little bit worried about this album, but having finished it, also a side note, I don't know why the hell they put this song second. Crack. That's a song where he's kind of comparing his love for his girl with a crackhead's addiction to crack. And in both instances, being with crack or being with the girl, it kind of makes you feel good for the moment, but then you run into situations where you know it's bad for you. So I thought that was a really nice comparison. The beat is really cool. It's lo-fi, it's kind of mellow, and I like the samples and the sound effects that are in the background of the beat. It's not distracting, but it adds some flavor to the instrumental. The song Growing Up was really nice. The beat's dope, it's dark, and it's menacing, and Slowthai comes in with a really nice flow for his verse. I'm not really familiar with JK, but he's really dope. I know he got a cosign from Drake, but I don't care. I really like what he was doing with his flow towards the end of the song. It almost sounds like it's kind of offbeat, but it totally wasn't. And that is one thing I do like about a lot of the UK hip hop that I've listened to. Those dudes love to play with flow, and they love to play with their approach to a beat. And it's very different than what a lot of Americans do when they approach a beat. So that's really dope. And the way that song rolled into the song Inglorious was nice. That beat had a really nice groove to it with the upbeat drums and the nice bass. I don't know why I'm doing this. The Slowthai's verse was really, really dope. I like the way he rode the beat a lot with that kind of bouncy flow. And I love this line, "Train spotting, I got babies on my ceiling." If you've seen the movie Train Spotting, you will understand how dope that line is. Skepta's verse sounded really, really dope. I like the way he flowed here. It was really aggressive, and I dug the part where he was talking about doing a whole sheet of acid by himself, and then a few lines later he's talking about directing a movie like Gaspar, which is a reference to Gaspar Noé, who is a known user of acid, which you can tell from watching his movies. But the lines after that were really crazy. "I drive the Wraith like it's NASCAR. I love the look on their faces when they look in the whip and it's a black star. That's for all the jokes about the jam jar." I had to look up the jam jar thing because it wasn't a reference that immediately popped in my head. You should look it up too, because it's fucked up. It's some really racist shit. Drug dealer. I knew this was gonna be a good one when he leads into the song saying, "This that Kanye West shit, blood, turn you crazy." The beat on this is insanely hard, and he kills his flow on this. When the beat switched in the middle of the first verse, god damn, man, that shit was nuts. And the way it sort of transitions back into the first beat was really, really, really dope. And Slowthai switches his flows here effortlessly. But yeah, for the most part, I actually liked this album. There were a few songs that I felt like I could do without, like Toaster. I don't think the beat was very interesting, and Slowthai didn't do enough with his flows and raps to keep me interested in that song. I felt the same way about Northampton's Child. The beat wasn't very interesting, and how he flowed over it was just okay. Same with Ladies. The beat was rather mediocre, actually, and Slowthai did his best to make it interesting, but it didn't stick with me. But yeah, that's only a few songs, man, because overall, I think the album is really good. I think Slowthai paints a really compelling picture of what the UK is like. And it's a stark picture, man, but he has a really great way of making you feel and understand the image that he's conveying. Now, will I return to this? Probably not very often. And again, it has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the album. He raps super well over really, really dope production, but it's really a cultural thing that is going to keep me from coming back to this. I feel like the accent doesn't sit super well with me, and I think the accent combined with the tone of his voice, it's a bit of a turnoff. That's why I like Skepta a bit more. His voice is deeper, it's a bit more gruff. Slowthai is more high pitched, and for some reason that combination doesn't suck me in. And a lot of times that keeps me from getting pulled into his lyrics. The slang that's used a lot is obviously indicative of the area that Slowthai is from, but they don't always make a lot of sense to me. Which, of course, listening to this type of music, I'm sure you would just get used to it, but I can't say that I'm super interested in this album being the one that's gonna be the deciding factor for me becoming a UK hip-hop fan. Now, will that change in the future? I don't know, but for right now, I like this album, but it's not going to be in heavy rotation. So that's going to do it for this edition of Out of My Element. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section down there. And yeah, like I said, keep an eye out for that other Out of My Element video that'll be up in a few days. And yeah, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy. That's that American slang for you, boy. Boy.